let's dive right in. First, let's take a look at our agenda for today. We are going to take a look at some of the industry challenges that the construction industry faces. We are then going to take a look at the solution for these challenges throughout the common data environment that we will be presenting. We will also take a look at the power of a single platform and what is the Autodesk Construction Cloud. We're going to dive into the products that are available in the Autodesk Construction Cloud, but we're going to do it through a workflow lens today. So we're going to take a look at Autodesk Docs, Autodesk BIM Collaborate, Autodesk Takeoff, and Autodesk Build. We are also going to have a project data workflow demo or overview. So we're going to show you today how you can leverage the ACC from a schematic design all the way to construction administration. And last but not least, we're going to have a Q&A at the end of our presentation. So please, throughout the presentation, feel free to use the Q&A box to share your questions, and we'll make sure to address them at the end. So let's start with the challenges in the construction industry. The construction industry has always faced challenges. As we talk to our customers, we hear about this, mainly about these 6 challenges. The construction industry is known for its traditionally low margins. Projects are becoming increasingly more complex, yet the schedule keeps on shrinking. Data and information is extremely siloed, making much of it unusable. We also have labor shortages. Teams are becoming more and more distributed, with stakeholders split between various offices in the field. And of course, many of these challenges bring uncertainty and risk into the entire industry. The question we pose today is, how can we use technology to overcome these challenges and find success on construction projects? As we explore these topics today, we will discuss how working of a single source of truth can increase collaboration and create a connected 2D and 3D experience, ensuring improved data accuracy, standardization, and digitization of all project workflows. Let's start with exploring the value of a single source of truth, which translates into a common data environment, or CDE. A common data environment supports teams, workflows, and data in a connected way. The Autodesk Construction Cloud eliminates the fragmentation that we talked about in the risk and challenges that we face today by providing a common data environment and a single source of truth for project documentation of all types. The most accurate, up-to-date information is easily accessible for all project partners that need to be involved across all departments, field or office, internal or external. This is all one unified environment for your project data. This common data environment spans all phases of a project as well. The entire project lifecycle is supported through the solutions in the Autodesk Construction Cloud that we will explore later in this webinar. Plan and design, pre-construction, construction, and even operation. This is going to allow for greater standardization and scalability for your company, and it adds the visibility over performance and risk that support your decision-making intel. These workflows you see here are very flexible to align with your unique project needs, whether you're involved in just one of these phases or throughout all of them. The Autodesk Construction Cloud connects data, workflows, and teams throughout the entire building lifecycle, from design all the way to operations across the headquarters, office, and the job site. The portfolio includes Autodesk BIM Collaborate, Autodesk Build, and Autodesk Takeoff, which are all served and powered by Autodesk Docs on the document management side. Built in a unified platform and common data environment, these modules empower general contractors, specialty trades, designers, owners, engineers to drive better business outcomes. The unified architecture and connected experience is composed of a unified framework built for execution and scale with mobile capabilities and a simple and standardized user experience. The power of a single platform includes unified data management, reliable data insight, and enterprise-level administrative tools. Let's take a look at these one by one. All project-related documents and files can be stored and managed through the ACC, from models to photos and assets as they are installed on the site. As the team works on the project and data is added in the form of drawings, files, photos, RFIs, issues, or reviews, the Insight module offers a range of tools to visualize data and leverage information for decision-making and development. On the Inside module, for each project, teams can get a holistic view of all data with dashboards. These dashboards can be customized to reflect quality, design, safety, or project controls, as well as any other relevant detail. These dashboards can also be shared with other project members or even across different projects. The Reports tool is available across all the ACC products, from model coordination to build, and it enables users to share detailed information about issues, RFIs, clashes, submittals, photos, and other project workflows that we will look at today. The Data Connector enables the extraction of project data from all projects and workflows and automates the process with scheduled extractions. With the Construction IQ, users can view risk in context of design, quality, safety, and project controls. Risk dashboards give teams an at-a-glance view of risk factors for individual projects and across project portfolios. The Autodesk Construction Cloud includes a robust account administration module, which allows team leaders or IT personnel to manage project creation, users, and data access for the rest of the users involved in the project. We will review these features in our demo later on. Successful projects can be converted into templates that can then be used for future projects. These templates contain all relevant information required to kickstart a project, from the folder structure to the list of team members. From the Project Administration module, users can also leverage the Bridge tool to easily share sheets and files across projects within the same or different accounts. The User Management tool is available from the Project Administration module, as well as in all ACC products. It is also available on the account level for administrators only. Team leaders and administrators can ensure the right people have access to the right information by setting permissions by user, roles, or by company. The Account Administration module also houses the project content library, as well as the application gallery. Users can create better data standards with the account level library and streamline future projects. In the ACC, you can seamlessly navigate to all the unified modules like Build, Takeoff, Design, Collaboration, Model Coordination, and Docs. More importantly, shared entities like issues, files, meeting notes, etc. will be available in each module, so you don't have to switch between modules to get your regular day-to-day work done. Not only can users switch between modules, but they can also switch between projects, both projects in the ACC as well as projects that were started in BIM 360. After this brief overview of the ACC Home and the Administration modules, we're ready to start looking at the products and workflows available in more detail. Let's start with a quick refresher on what Autodesk Docs is. Autodesk Docs is the foundation of the ACC, and it enables customers to organize, distribute, and share files on a single connected documented management platform. It ensures all team members have access to the same information they need, and it also acts as the team's common data environment. It supports document control with versioning and approval workflows. Autodesk Docs is, as I mentioned, the document management solution for the entire Autodesk Construction Cloud platform and all products. You can have access to document control, versioning, and approval. And this is available for all the products that we are going to look at from now on. The document control includes permission tools, folder structure customization, and sharing options. The document versioning is available for all file types that are uploaded into the ACC. Documents such as sheets and models can be compared between older and new versions to determine changes, reviews, and overall project progression. Project managers can easily change the current version of a document and inform all project members instantly. The reviews and transmittals tools facilitate document approvals by giving users the possibility of customizing and automating the review and distribution of project drawings, models, and other files. Now that we have talked about the document management process, let's move on to the tool for the planning and designing phase of our projects. That will be Autodesk BIM Collaborate. BIM Collaborate features an activity dashboard showing all published models activity from every team that is involved in our projects. It automatically runs cloud-based clash detection across every model into a matrix that makes spotting problems areas even easier. And once those clashes are verified in BIM Collaborate, it allows you to track those issues until they are resolved. It's all documented with all final details in one place. BIM Collaborate takes the clash detection process and makes it overseeing activity from different parties very, very easy. BIM Collaborate Pro enables design teams to work simultaneously on cloud-hosted projects via Revit, Civil 3D, or Plan 3D. When equipped with BIM Collaborate, teams can overcome many of the challenges faced by the industry and that we discussed earlier today. BIM Collaborate delivers a broad, deep, and connected set of field execution and project management tools for designers and builders alike in a simple software platform that is easy to deploy, adopt, and use. As you already know, all document management workflows are supported by Autodesk Docs. The design collaboration module supports interdisciplinary teams with tools such as package creation, design reviews, issues, and correspondence. The model coordination module allows multidisciplinary teams to internally catch problems and resolve them before they become a headache in the field. The design collaboration module is the tool that enables architects, structural engineers, MEP engineers, and all project teams to share their drawings, models, and sheets in a user-friendly interface. Each team has their own space in which they can manage and organize the information that will be shared, as well as review incoming information from other teams before consuming it and adding it to their local model copies. The information is shared by creating packages. These packages are trackable throughout the lifecycle of a project and visible to all teams participating in the project. Users can also conduct design reviews by exploring the models and construction documents from all the disciplines. The Issues tool allows users to manage issues created during the design phase, which can be picked up in Revit, Navisworks, and extend to the installation phases with Autodesk Build. And by creating watch groups, team members can track design changes by elements or types. The model coordination modules facilitates communication between project teams and enables swift coordination for intricate projects. Within the model coordination tools, users can create custom views by merging multidisciplinary single-level or multi-level models. Multiple file types are supported, such as RVT, DWG, IFC, and NWC. The crown jewel of the model coordination module is the clashes tool. With this tool, users can have access to a clash matrix with a heat map to identify areas to focus on. These clashes are automatically detected when models are shared by each project team. The Issues tool is also available in the model coordination module. Any clash found between two models can be converted to an issue and monitored throughout the project's design phase and construction phase. The model coordination module includes the powerful meetings tool. Team members can create meetings, track action items, and attendance, all while sharing project data and files directly from the ACC. The new correspondence tool, which was introduced in 2023, gives a unique email address to each ACC project. From this email address, users can send and receive project-related emails, share project documentation, and most importantly, track all communication from the design phase all the way to the project closeout. Let's continue our project's journey and move on to the planning phase and bidding process. Autodesk Takeoff is part of the unified platform of the Autodesk Construction Cloud. It is a powerful yet easy-to-use tool for quantity takeoff and early cost analysis. For estimating teams looking to utilize more advanced takeoff solution, Autodesk Takeoffs provides 2D and 3D capabilities for creating takeoff packages of any type. You can customize formulas to generate multiple outputs from a single 2D markup, and these items are individually tracked into an inventory list that is consolidated by a bid package. The 3D takeoff capability mode allows for instantaneous qualification of objects in your building models with pinpoint accuracy based on the model object data, achieving the highest level of accuracy possible in the shortest amount of time. Takeoff utilizes the common data environment of Autodesk Docs for robust document management from design to handover. The tools available in Takeoff facilitate quantification workflows by leveraging sheets and 3D models. Estimators can deliver accurate takeoffs by using the same project data that is already available in Autodesk Docs. From Autodesk Takeoff, you can seamlessly navigate to BIM Collaborate, Build, and all the account and project settings in the ACC. When setting up their project to begin the quantification process, users can select the measurement system and upload multiple classification systems for more accuracy. The user management tool is also available in Takeoff. Takeoff's user-friendly interface allows users to filter, search, and organize their documents to make it easy to flip plans and quickly access plans and models. Project files are accessible and added to packages for an organized quantification process. Users can perform linear, count, or area takeoff with multiple quantity outputs and use custom formulas to generate complex quantities directly on project sheets. Users can also leverage BIM content with the 3D takeoff tools available. Elements are quantified and automatically tracked in 2D and 3D. This eliminates the risk of double counting and reduces the time estimators spend on one single project. All quantities are added to an inventory that can be exported at any point of the takeoff workflow. 2D elements and 3D elements are aggregated, and cost breakdown is detailed by the classification system selected in the project setup. Once the takeoff process is completed, the information recorded in the inventory is ready to be shared by estimators with minimal editing required. And lastly, takeoff users can leverage AI with the powerful symbol detection tool. This tool identifies similar entities in sheets and automatically quantifies them. Users can then review the elements identified and verify if others need to be added. Now that our project has been awarded and construction documents are on 90%, it is time to move on to the pre-construction and construction phases. The interconnections between project teams continue with Autodesk Build. Autodesk Build is part of the unified platform and part of the Autodesk Construction Cloud. Autodesk Build is the solution for everything project management and field application workflow. This platform was built by mending PlanGrid and BIM 360 solutions into one powerhouse environment. Autodesk Build commands entire project budget, including subcontracts, pay applications, and change orders. It can manage your submittals and RFIs, daily reports, meeting minutes, nearly everything from your desktop and a simple mobile app. In addition to that, it has user-friendly 3D model interaction from the field. And from the office, it's a great starting point to begin building your own BIM program or utilizing that model data in valuable ways. By having all of these workflows seamlessly intertwined, it allows visibility on all the risks that we talked about in a few minutes ago in this presentation, and gives teams proactive decision-making on managing those risks. Autodesk Build delivers a broad, deep, and connected set of field execution and project management tools for builders in a single software platform that is easy to deploy, adopt, and use. Build provides an environment where information sharing and workflows are both tightly controlled and highly configurable. Let's take some time to look at all the capabilities and workflows that are supported within Autodesk Build. With access to submittals, RFIs, meetings, and scheduling tools, teams can easily keep track of all project workflows. The submittals tool allows users to create, coordinate, and manage all submittals in a single document library. These submittals are tracked throughout the project's construction administration phase, and all team members involved can access the information and documents submitted by navigating through the Build interface. The RFIs tool keeps all requests for information organized by type, reviewers, and status, while keeping the office and the field connected via notifications and correspondence. Project files such as sheets, models, and even specifications can be linked to RFIs for seamless communication. The schedule tool in Autodesk Build makes it simple to upload the latest version of the schedule from the CPM software. Just export it and then import it into Build. It provides permission-based access and offers very robust search and filtering options to quickly surface the schedule information needed. The Forms tool comes with ready-to-use templates that users can leverage for daily reports. We're also going to see how the Forms tool is great for quality management and also safety management. The correspondence tool is also available in Build with continuation of all email communication started in previous phases of the project. The project maintains its unique email address. The meetings tool is also available in Build, and all meetings are tracked by the team from all previous phases. Now let's talk about a very exciting tool. The newly introduced specifications tool in Autodesk Docs and Autodesk Build allows members to create permissions or to add and publish specifications for use by project members. During the specification publishing process, the optical character recognition analyzes high-level specification information and then breaks out specification documents into structure by correlating section codes and descriptions. Once section codes and descriptions have been extracted, specification sections can be added, modified, and organized during the review stage. After publication, specifications can be accessed and viewed by all project members working both in the field and in the office, or either through the web or through the mobile app. Now let's take a look on how Autodesk Build can help us achieve a proactive quality management. As I mentioned before, the Forms tool is also ideal for quality planning as it allows users to leverage standardized checklists templates to support a proactive quality management approach. Quality control is also powered by the Forms tool. The issue management tool is also available in Autodesk Build, and the best part of it is that you can track issues that were created in the design phases and continue to track them throughout the construction process, as well as create new issues that you can link to your sheets and your 3D models. Punch lists are also available throughout the Forms tool. As I mentioned before, Build has also a very powerful, robust management and safety system. Safety inspections can also be managed throughout the Forms tool. In the Forms tool, you can create your own forms. You can leverage smart PDFs that your company has already created in the past. This you can upload to the platform and then use them as needed. There's also access to safety training tools via the meetings tool, which you can schedule your safety training meetings and make sure everyone involved is notified, as well as keep track of those in attendance and the action items that are required after the meeting. Safety observations are also possible throughout the reports tool. And last but not least, there is a lot of tools that you can use for a simplified project closeout. With the Assets tool, users can access asset data from the field during commissioning. And then once our project is nearing completion, users can easily filter, find, and export all relevant as-built information, including sheets, RFIs, and submittals, as well as, of course, all the 3D models that were included in the project. As I also mentioned, and last and certainly not least, Build has a very powerful cost management module. Users can centralize and manage construction costs on one single platform. There are tools available for budget creation and contract administration. You can also manage all change orders generated throughout the project. Payment applications and expenses can also be managed through cost management. You can also have a very accurate forecasting of all the costs involved in your project. Now, let's dive into the ACC platform for an overview of the workflows we have just previewed today. We're going to start with the ACC and the home screen. So when you first access the ACC, you're going to land in your home page. If you click on My Home, you're going to see you have access to a map that shows you where all your projects are located, or your active projects. You also have the opportunity to access the list of all the projects that you were part of. As you can see here, we can see there is a BIM 360 project in here, and also the rest of them are in the ACC. The project that we're going to be using today is the East Residence Hall project. I also have access throughout the ACC home to my project templates. The project templates, as I mentioned in the presentation, are projects that have been created in the past that can be used as templates as they are completed. I can also create projects from here once I fill in the information. I only have to provide a project name, select the account, and a project type to begin. I can add all the other information, such as the address later on. I also have access to the account administrative module and all my settings for my projects and my account, as you can see here. I also have access to all my archive projects and to my account members. And to go back, I just have to click here and go to my home. We can also access PlanGrid, Building Connected, the Trade app, and pipe out aspects from the ACC home. Now I'm going to set up my project to continue showing you guys the platform. I'm going to switch here from build to project administration in my project. And now when I click on it, it'll take me automatically to the project administration module. So this is the members management or user management for my project specifically. Here are the companies that are part of my project. Here is the activity log of everything that has happened in the project from the beginning all the way to the end. I can also access notification settings from here and create a notifications group for team members or consultants. And I can access all project settings, such as add all the information that I need, the project number and the project value. I can also have access here to product specific settings. And I can save my project as a template. Another very important aspect is the locations, which I can add. So locations are referring to the buildings in my project, but I can be as specific as even the rooms, as you can see here. On Tower 1, I have Tower 2. And I can always add more sublocations if necessary to my project. There's also a template available that I can download and then re-upload. So by clicking on the product picker, we can easily navigate back to the account admin if necessary, or to the insights tool. Here's where we are going to see our dashboards. So if I click on my dashboard, this is a default dashboard that is created with every project, but I can customize this dashboard or create other dashboards depending on the data that I want to showcase or share. I have also a project controls dashboard, which is also automatically created, as well as a quality dashboard and a safety dashboard. This quality dashboard offers an insight on all the issues that are currently in the project, that are active issues or open issues, and the ones that are closed as well. I also have the safety dashboard, which I can also customize if I need to by clicking here, or export it if I want to share with other project stakeholders that might not be in the ACC. So I click on the product picker and I can go back to any of my projects or my products. So I'm going to go to now Autodesk Docs to show you guys how to start with the data management side. So we're now in the docs portion, or the common data environment that we talked about. And we can see here we have a folder structure. We have an architecture folder. We have here Revit models as well as PDFs. So we're going to click on my Revit model. And we can quickly see it has a view active, but we can go back to the entire 3D view, which we have here. And as you can see, we have a very powerful model viewer. We can interact with the model and the information that is recorded here. There is the section box tool, which is my favorite because you can navigate throughout your building in a vertical way. You can also create other sections or horizontal sections. And we're going to create an issue here that we're going to continue to track throughout the project. So we're going to create an issue with this window, a design issue. But you can see there are other types available as well. So I'm going to create my issue by clicking on my window. And I can add a description. I can assign this to Jim. And I can also add other watchers. So I'm going to add my colleague Book Villegas as a watcher. So she's going to receive a notification. I'm going to add this on tower number 2. Specifically the second floor of tower number 2. I can also add a due date, so when this issue has to be resolved. And I can add the root cause for this issue or add other references as well. As you can see, other elements in my project can be added as references to my issue. And then I also have access to all the sheets that are included when this Revit model was published. So if I click on one of these sheets, I have access to a number of tools here on the right side, like the measuring tool. I can adjust the scale for this sheet. I'm going to show you how by calibrating it. So I can set the scale either by selecting a scale from a drop-down list, or I can just do it by 2-point calibration. So this is a section. So I'm going to go to the heights to do that. I can simply click on 2 points in my drawing here. And I can decide the units, in this case, feet and fractional inches. And I can set the size for feet 6 inches and the precision. I'm going to do 1/8 of an inch. And now my scale has been set for this drawing. And then anyone who has access to this drawing will also get the scale. So I know there are 24 feet and 5 inches or 6 inches between these two axes. So I'm going to show you how now I can create very accurate measurements just by calibrating my sheet. As you can see here, there you go, 24 and 5 inches. So it is accurate. I can verify that. Another thing that I can do throughout the powerful viewer is compare documents. So we have here our sheet, which is part of version 43, sheet 301, A301. So we're going to compare it to an older version of the sheet. Let's go back to version 10 and let's find that 301 sheet that we have open here. And we click on compare and it analyzes all the changes that have been added to this drawing throughout the life cycle of the project. So when we were perhaps in design development and now we're ready for the construction documents. So you can toggle between the disciplines that are related to the sheet. Right now, I'm only looking at the architecture changes, but you can see there's a lot that has been modified. I can toggle those on and off depending on what I want to see, especially when I have a lot of information going on. So now I'm only seeing what has been removed, what has been modified. And then I can turn all the disciplines back on if I need to. And I can see the results as a tree or as a list. So this is it's very easy to keep track of all the changes in the project, even if you join the project later on in the process. We also have here access to the specifications tool. I will be going into detail onto how to add those specifications when we reach the build part of this demonstration. We also have access to the reviews tool here. We can see which reviews are ongoing, which are open. You can see this one has been open, and we have access to the transmittal tool. We can create a transmittal and send any file that has been added to our project. So we're going to share this East Residence Hall construction documents package, but we can also share an entire folder if we need to. So I'm going to select that, bind a PDF. I'm going to select who I'm sending this to. So I can select as a role all users that are architects, but I can also send this to someone specifically. I can also decide whether I want all my recipients to know the other recipients of the file or not. I can email myself a copy of the notification that they're going to receive, and I can add a message such as please review, as you can see here. And I'm also going to add Jim just to show you how you can add people, individual members of the project as well. You click on create and you can see here, you get confirmation immediately of the transmittal. And as you are here, you can also export a report of this transmittal so that it is logged into the reports tool and download it as a zip file as well for archiving purposes. You go back to the transmittal and all the information about it is in there. We also have access to the powerful issues tool. Here is the issue that we previously created on the Revit model. It has been logged here. The reports tool that I mentioned before, all reports for the project are here as well. The members tool, which we can also add and remove members to our projects from here. So let's go back to the files tab and move on to the design collaboration portion of project. We're now moving on to BIM Collaborate. When we click on Design Collaboration, we land on the homepage for all teams. In this case, we're landing in the architecture homepage because I am part of the architecture team. So now that we are in the Design Collaboration part, we're going to take a look at the project timeline. So the timeline is where all of the teams are shown here. The teams, you can see, have a civil team, an MEP team, and a structural team. And we get to see what has been going on throughout the project. Each of these icons symbolize either a model that has been shared or the package that had been created. So you can see here, I click on a model shared by the structural team, and I can immediately see what has been going on. I can compare this model to another model that was shared later on. I can also click on a circle that is a package that was created by the architecture team. I can see here this package contains 3 sets, 2 models, and that's 3 issues have been created from this package. I can see which models are in here. I can see my architectural Revit model is in here. Of course, I have access to the same tools. I can orbit around it, swim in and out. I can see the sets that are related to this model. A couple of coordination sets. I can see other documents. I can see issues that have been created from this model specifically. And I can compare this architectural model to an older version of the model if I have to. So I have version number 6 here, and I can compare it to version number 9. Well, let's do version number 2 instead. We can show the changes, and it's automatically going to load and show me everything that has changed between one version of the model and another. So this is the same comparing tool, but now we're seeing it in 3D, which is much more robust and allows you to know specifically which parts of the model were being worked on in a specific period of time. You can exit the compare tool just by clicking the X on the upper right corner. You can reuse a package that you created previously if it contains the same type of information, and you can zoom in and out throughout the project timeline to see specific dates. We're now going to go back to our home team. We're going to look at the issues tool. Again, this is the issue that we previously created in docs. You can see it reflected here. And these are team-specific issues also. So I click here and I see all the information about the issue that I created on my window. I can see who are the people involved in this issue or responsible for it. I can also click on the project status, and it shows me the publishing states of each of the models and when they were lastly published or successfully published. These is the changes or the watch groups. You can click here and keep track of all changes that have been made without opening the model. We also have access, of course, to the meetings tool. We can create a meeting through here, and this meeting will be reflected in all the phases of the project and all other products. You can invite people. You can add references here. The reference can be items that are part of the file structure of the project. We also have access to the Great Correspondence tool. As you're going to see here, you can see the project email address. This is a unique email address, which is extremely long, so that it is very convenient to just copy it here. You can send emails directly from the project. So this email is going to come from the project, not from the user. This is going to be a correspondence test. We can send this to particular users that are part of our projects, roles, or companies. But we can also send this to people that are not part of our project. I'm going to use here an example. I'm going to send it to John Doe at asamplecompany.com. And even though this is not a real email address, you can send this to anyone who's outside of the project who might need to get this correspondence specifically. So I'm going to say that John is an interior designer today. And of course, sample company. So if I hit create, it'll create John in my database, and he will remain part of my database for later correspondence. So I'm also going to add Jim here. I'm going to add my colleague Pook and my colleague Roger. And I'm going to decide that this is going to be public. The difference between public and private is that recipients can see who the other recipients are. So think about it as the carbon copy. So I can add a brief message or content on my email. This is a test of a correspondence tool, and I can add attachments. So attachments from files on my computer or from project files. So take a look here as I access the same folder structure that I accessed earlier through Docs is also available here. Thanks to the common data environment. So I can share this PDF here. And I can add references like sheets, RFIs, or submittals or issues to my correspondence, and even possible change orders that I want reviewed. So once I'm ready, I can add also a status and a due date if this needs to be reviewed by a specific date or opened by a specific date, like May 24th. And I'm going to remove Mr. John Doe because he's not real, and then I'm going to send it. And you're going to see here how it's going to send just like a regular email. And Jim can later confirm that he received this email. So you can see here, I click on it and I have all the information about the email, who sent it, to whom it was sent. And I can even add references after the email was sent just for archiving purposes. I can also, of course, archive this correspondence. And this is always going to be here for anyone to review. Again, I have access here to the reports tool and members and settings. So if I click on settings, here is where we set up our teams in the beginning of our project. We also select our share folder. So those of you who are familiar with consuming models and sharing models in Revit, this is where you set that folder up. So now we're going to move on to the model coordination part of things. By clicking on the product picker, we go to model coordination. And we can see here the model coordination part of BIM Collaborate Pro or BIM Collaborate. We can see here all the models that are part of the project at the moment. We can take a look at the clashes tool or the clashes matrix. You can see here all the models are being clashed against each other. This is automatically. We can also exclude objects that we don't want to clash or models that we don't want to clash. Like this one, for example, these are all on at the moment. But if needed, we can turn those off. Now we go back to the matrix and we're going to pick one of these models just to see what we can do. So we're going to take the coordination architectural model and we're going to clash it against one of the structural steel detailing models. We can see here we have 1,700 clashes. So as we click on the matrix, we can find all the clashes that we have between these two specific models. So these clashes are grouped by the type of clash and the type of elements that are clashing. We can see here, if we click on the assemble stair, we have a problem with the stair and the wall. So once we're viewing these, we can either decide whether this is an issue or not. If I click this is not an issue, I have to give a reason as to why this is not an issue for other project members. So I can say there's just a minimal overlap. Then I can move on to the next group of clashes in my list. As you can see here, I can click on another one like this basic wall. And I have here a wall clashing with a T element. So I can click here on create an issue and I can click on the element. Clicking on my wall, it's creating my issue. And then as it creates my issue, I can continue to add other relevant information. As you can see, the type is already added. I can assign this to Jim or other project members. I can locate where this issue is. I'm going to say this is on Tower 1. I can add a due date or a start date. And notice how the number for this issue is 171. So it is a continuation of my previous one. I can also add references. The image is automatically added to it for context as well. And I can see it here listed as well on my issues. Now I click on it and it takes me automatically to where that issue is located. Now, if I click on issues, I'm going to see my issue just created right now. If I click on it, it'll take me back to that interface, and it'll show me all the information relevant to my issue. Again, here we have the meetings tool and the correspondence tool. And here is our correspondence demo email that we sent a few minutes ago. I can add files or information to it after the fact from here as well. We also have access to the reports and members tools. Now we're going to move on to the takeoff tool. So now that we're in the takeoff tool, we can see we're in the same East Residence Hall project, and we're going to quickly take a look at the Files tab. So in the Files tool, we have access to the same folder structure that we've been working with. We're going to go to Packages, and in here is how we divide the information that we have access to. Also in the settings, here's where we pick our measurement system. The measurement system for this project has already been selected. But we can also add classification templates. In this case, we have a unit format template that we added. So all of our elements will be classified. And we can also select the currency for cost analysis. We go back to packages and we create a package. Today, I'm going to use a package that has already been created, test number 2. I can see here all the sheets and the models that are currently being used for takeoff. One thing that's important to note is that not all the elements, the files are accessible for takeoff. You have to activate them. So if I click on one of my packages, which is here test number 2, I can very quickly filter through my sheets and my models depending on what I want to see, or I can use here the document picker to pick in a specific sheet. In this case, I'm going to do sheet A101. And I can see the scale for this sheet has already been set, but the location has not been set yet. So if I am ready to start my takeoff, I have to go to the takeoff types and I have to create my type. I click here on add and I'm going to create a count type. So I'm going to start counting interior doors in this case. I can choose the way that that's going to look. Then I can choose the unit of measure. I can choose the cost. So I'm going to say 150. And then my classification system inside interiors. I can say this is part of the interior doors, which will be listed here, thanks to my classification system. And I can add changes to my formula if necessary. Once I'm ready, I can do save or start. I recommend we save the takeoff type so we don't have to repeat it afterwards. I click on interior doors and I can immediately start counting my doors. So I just click on my doors and they're automatically attached. But I'm going to show you what the symbol detection looks like. So I click on symbol detection, I apply it to my door, and it automatically detects all other doors that are in the same direction for me. So I can review whether all of these are correct. And then I can click on save and watch the count as it is automatically added to my inventory. So I'm going to show you my inventory down here. I already have 9 doors. I have the cost for each door and the total cost. And of course, all part of my classification system. Now we're going to move on to looking at the 3D tools here. So I'm going to go from the sheets to the 3D models, and I'm going to choose one of these 3D models here, which are the same ones that we were looking at before. So this is my architectural model. I can again rotate, pan, anything that I need to navigate it. I also can fit it to my window, and I have access to the same section tool, which I really like, the vertical section, because it allows me to see it room by room. As you can see here, you can navigate and click on any of these objects that are part of your Revit model or were part of the Revit model initially. So we're going to create a takeoff type here for windows, right? We don't see any takeoff types here yet because these are on the 3D side. The one that we created previously was on the 2D side. So we're going to choose the BIM type. We're going to do Windows here. Windows 1, because we're probably going to have to do more than one for Windows. So unit of measure is going to be count again. The cost is going to be 200. And then we can use our classification system to determine this is part of the shell, specifically exterior enclosures and exterior windows. Once I'm ready for that, again, I save my take-up type to use it later on and even on other projects. And I can just select my window and start clicking on my windows, right? I click on this one and it's automatically counted. But I can also ask it to just select all the similar ones. So it automatically detects all of my windows and adds them to my count. If I move up and down on my section, I can see that other windows are selected, even though they're not visible. So if I'm happy with that quantity, I click on the check and I see all my windows are now blue, meaning that I can very easily know which ones have been added and which ones haven't. If I click on the cluster tool down here, I can see my entire model being taken apart by element or type of object. So it's very easy for me to zoom into my windows and know which windows have been counted and which ones haven't been counted. As you can see here, the cost is also added to our inventory immediately. So as I was counting my windows, all the cost is added here. So I'm going to click on export and I'm going to export my inventory. You can see here, it creates an Excel document with all the information that has been taken off or quantified as of this moment. So I want to be mindful of everyone's time here. Being told we're approaching the end of the hour, so I'm going to move on to Autodesk Build. From here, so now that we're on the build platform, I'm just going to show you what the homepage looks like. So you can see here, you have access to some quick links and some quick information about your project, some recent activities. You can see the issue is added there, the issue that we previously created. So if we click on the files here, we see that we have access to the same folder structure that we've been working with since the beginning. We have our Revit model that we previously looked at. If we click on it, we're going to find it in here, and we're going to find the issue that we created originally. You're just going to zoom in just to show you that issue 170 that we created in the beginning of this presentation. And again, we have access to all the sheets that were published alongside the Revit model. And we also have access to the compare tool. See, we can create other issues in here, as well as add photos specifically to these sheet. So imagine if you're on the field and you're doing a walkthrough and you need to add a photo that you just took from your phone or your tablet, you can do that here. You can also compare this sheet to the same version of the sheet. So we click on compare and it analyzes all the changes and things that have been added throughout the process. So we have, again, the ability to toggle between what we want to see, between disciplines, and just to see everything as a list. So let's move on now to the Sheets tool. And I'm going to show you really quickly how to add sheets through this tool. Of course, you can add sheets also through the Files tool. But over here, you have a list of all the elements or PDFs that have been published as sheets, which you can also group by collections. In this case, group by building 1 and 2. Through the settings, you can also activate it and create new collections if you have to throughout the life cycle of your project. So we're going to go back to Sheets. We're going to start the process of adding a sheet. As you can see here, you can add sheets from your files that have been already uploaded or directly from your computer by dragging and dropping. So we're going to just publish one sheet today. For the sake of time, we're going to use just this one, A101. But I could, if needed, I could also do it from a Revit model. I'm going to do select. See here that successfully added. I continue. I can add it to a location. I can create a new version set or add it to an existing version set. In this case, I'm going to add it to version 05, version set 05. And then in here, you can see the sheet number is automatically added. I can also draw the sheet number area if I want to. I can add tags to my sheet and a title. So I'm just going to do the floor plan. I can view my sheet before publishing it. So I need to confirm, like in this case, the title. This is a floor plan. So I can just type office floor plan. And then I could just say publish sheets. I can view my sheets and I can confirm that my sheet has been added to my list of existing sheets. We can also share from here with project members, with anyone with the link, or with even with another project. So anyone with the link is very similar to sharing, copying and pasting the link and sharing it via email. So now we're going to take a look at the specifications tool. So how do we add a specifications? I'm going to click on add a specifications. I'm going to add it from a file that I have here already uploaded in my same folder structure, which contains all the specs for this project. So I click on upload. And once it's done, I can click here next to version set. I can add it to an existing version set, just like my sheets, or create a new one. So in this case, I'm going to add it to the existing version number 1. And very important, I have to select my master format here and the location of the project. And click next. And now you're going to see it's processing. So it immediately processes my document and it shows me all the sections. And I can review this before I publish it. So I can see there are some pages here that haven't been assigned. So I can resolve this by assigning them to the right section. Click here, added. Once it is resolved, and then I do a final review, I am ready to publish my specifications. You can see this can take up to 15 minutes and it'll continue in the background. Once it's done, you're going to get an email notification and you can click now, go to specifications, and you have the list of specs all here for you to use. You can see here, we have the concrete section, make sure everything's in place and looks right. The metals section. And you can add other specifications throughout the project. Now, if we click on the issues tool, again, we have over 2 issues that we've created today. The 171 that we created in the beginning is also here, and the one that we created through the clashes section. Okay, give me 1 second here.
Hey, Maria.
Yep, I just, my second screen just lost power, so I'm just gonna switch the screen to continue the presentation. I'm sorry about that. Give me 1 second. All right, so let's continue here. Jim, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so let's continue here the demo. So as I was saying, we're going to move on to the forms tool. So in the forms tool, we have an access to various templates that are by default loaded into every project created. So we can see here, we have a sample daily report. We can modify these templates that come by default with the platform by adding extra information or extra sections. If we believe that there is something missing in the template, we can even add notes. We can then go back to the templates or create our own template, or we can even import templates from Autodesk Build, the ACC account library, or PlanGrid or BIM 360. So we could always leverage other templates and forms that we created on other projects and use them in new projects. So imagine the time-saving opportunities. If we go back to forms, again, we can create a form either from an existing template, a template that we created, or a template that was created with a fillable PDF that you've uploaded. So as you can see here, I have my sample fillable PDF that I can immediately start using. And I can add all my information and submit it as a form once I'm done. So I'm going to quickly move on to the rest of the modules here because we are pressed on time. But here is in the photos module, you can see the image that was automatically created from the issue that we created throughout the class, through the Clash tool in model coordination. And you can see that I can add other information to that issue. We also have the RFIs tool where all the RFIs in the project are listed. I can create RFIs from here, but I can also create RFIs from specific elements like a 3D model. So I can filter through these by status, by title, and I can also export a report of all my current RFIs. So moving on to submittals, very similar to the RFIs, but in the submittals, we have the opportunity to add our specs as well. I'm going to move on to the correspondence tool just to show you that original email is here. We can still add references to this email. We also have access to the scheduling tool. So these scheduling tools allows users to add and import schedules that have been created in other CPM software. So I open my schedule here and it automatically detects all my activities and tasks per day, per month, per year. I can view this schedule and I can also add comments to the schedule with the suggestion tool. So these comments will only be visible to the project manager until approved. I can toggle between looking at a Gantt chart or a list. I can also create a plan based on my schedule activities. So I can give it a title. This is going to be a sample plan, number 1. I click OK, and I can connect this plan to my schedule that I've already added. Confirm here. And I can start adding tasks based on the companies that are part of my project, as you can see here. And I can navigate throughout the entire project lifecycle. So I'll go back to my schedule and I can toggle between my schedule and my plans. I can also show you the assets tool and what we can do with it. So here are all the assets that are currently either specified or ordered in my project. Some of them are also installed, so you can keep track of all the assets that need to be brought into the site if needed. You can see here some of them have been installed already. I can create an asset from this list as well by selecting a category and a name. I can also show you the reports tool, the members tool, which are here, and the settings for our project. But we're going to go back to the home page just to show you what it looks like again. And I hope this was a successful presentation and that you enjoyed it and you learned something from the ACC. More specifically, that you see the value of starting your project and from the beginning and then giving it to your client throughout the project life cycle all the way to the project closeout and all you can do within the ACC.